I can't whistle. The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 1 follows, once again, Katniss Everdeen. After the events of Catching Fire, she has been taken to District 13, and the rebellion in Panem begins. Now, if you know anything about me, and you know that I am not a big fan of the Hunger Games films, I am a big fan of the books, but the movies don't do anything for me. I found the first one to be dreadfully bad. The second one is okay, but the series doesn't grab me. A lot of people think Catching Fire is so great, and I just didn't think it was that good in general. Unfortunately, Mockingjay Part 1 is the same as the other two. I find this film to be incredibly boring. It's a drag, and a lot of that is due to the fact that this is a Part 1. Nothing substantial happens until the last 10 or 20 minutes of this movie. Even that wasn't that compelling, because there was really no interesting lead up to that. This film is just a drag. Literally, they are dragging this out. The bulk of Mockingjay Part 1 is Katniss Everdeen filming propaganda videos to fuel the revolution. And really, that's just spinning your wheels. Like, we already know the revolution is coming because Katniss has done things. So, they're just spinning their wheels to actually make more money instead of actually having anything interesting happen. The book is only 300 pages long. You could easily put this into one movie. But they didn't because they want to make money. And it hurts the film industry to do this because you don't give us good films. I'm not going to say there's nothing good about this movie. There are some positives. Jennifer Lawrence, despite giving not much to really do except stare half the time, gives a really good performance like she has done in all of the movies. She has made these movies even worth going to see. All the returning players do a pretty good job. Julianne Moore does an okay job. She's fine. There's a big problem, though, with their characters that I'll get to when I get to the negatives. But all of them do a good job of what they are given. For the most part, it is competently directed. I wouldn't say it's really well directed. Catching Fire is a much better directed film. It is the same director. But the shaky camera turns. There's a scene where literally, like, he shows them running, and it's just like, you know, a spot. But then it goes in front of them, and it's all one shot, and they start shaking. It's like, you've already established a fluid shot. Why would you start shaking it in the middle of the shot? It is just stupid directing. Even though all the supporting players do a really good job, the focus is too much on Katniss Everdeen. I understand that she is the main character, but like some of the great things about the other movies that I actually liked was the dynamic between her and Woody Harrelson as Haymitch, or her and Effie Trinket, or even the second one, her and Philip Seymour Hoffman. And those dynamics are barely in the movie. There is a really good scene where, you know, they're scheming about how to use this propaganda, and Haymitch is doing his thing, and it's like the dynamic is back. But then they have a scene with Liam Hemsworth trying to actually act next to Jennifer Lawrence, and it is just disgraceful. These characters who are actually good actors are being shoved to the side for Liam Hemsworth, who does a terrible job in this movie, besides maybe one decent scene. But then there was a scene where he's complaining like, you only give me love when I'm in pain. And he sounds like a freaking 9-year-old like, yeah, Katniss. I can't stand him. He was terribly cast from the beginning, and girls will only give him a pass because they think he's hot. But you know what? He can't act. He does a terrible job. And really, he should have not even had any scenes. I wish that he was just a background character like the people they showed to the side who couldn't actually act. This is a ridiculous thing. I don't know why they did it. Why? Because they're stretching it out into 2 movies. That's why they're doing it. This is ridiculous. That's another thing. Effie Trinket's in this movie. If you've read the book, Effie Trinket is not in the book. That's fine. I don't mind having changes from book to film. I have always had that position. But she doesn't have any purpose in this movie. She's just there because people like her character, which is shameful. You're not making a better film, you're making it more boring. That's the problem. She gives some decent lines, but there's no reason for her to be there, so you're just wasting time. And when you waste my time, I could have seen so many other movies. I could have gone and seen The Big Hero 6. I could have seen the Whiplash. I could have seen something I actually want to, like, see and is good. But instead I want to see this, and you're wasting my time with characters who don't have any purpose. And I really like Elizabeth Banks' Effie Trinket, but she has no role. She's just there to be there because people like her. Let's talk about the worst thing ever. So, there's a guy in Catching Fire who I loved. His name was Finnick. Sam O'Dare, I think, is the actor's name. You realize that he was loved by the people who watched that movie. The guy who played Finnick was really good. He's got maybe 3 couple dialogue scenes. Like, a couple of lines of dialogue. One is the opening scene, which is really bad. The second, I don't even remember. It's already out of my mind. And then, he gets to be the background character in the final scene. That's it. That is it. He doesn't have anything to do in that final scene except for go blah 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 blah. It's ridiculous. And the thing is, that scene's actually pivotal in the book. But Finnick is just put to the side because we gotta focus on the stupid Zero Dark 30 like ending when Finnick is actually doing something important over there. Yeah, okay, I get it. Like, what's happening is technically important. The way they did it, it's not interesting. Finnick's speech actually plays into the end of the book. So, why are you skipping over this? It's crazy. He did such a good job. I loved his character. What? You might say, well, he doesn't have a big part in the book. Well, you know what? Like, how many scenes do they make up? How many scenes of Liam Hemsworth are there that weren't there in the book? Okay? So you could put Finnick in this movie more. It is a cop-out to say, well, he's not in the book that much. Well, there's plenty of characters who don't have scenes in the book. Effie Trinket isn't even in the freaking book, and she has more scenes than Finnick. That is ridiculous. After everything that I've said, I've decided that I'm going to give Mockingjay Part 1 a C. Thank you for watching this rage-filled review of Mockingjay Part 1. I have plenty of reviews coming in the future, so stay tuned.